Hey guys, welcome to the first episode of the Wolfswood. I got Cameron here by my side, the master of Stark, one could say.
Hello, Ryan. It's good to be here.
Wolfswood is mostly going to be, it's not going to be like a podcast thing. It's not going to be a thing we do every week. It's going to be mostly chapter pack reviews, reacting to announcements, things like that. It's not going to be a regular thing, but every time a chapter pack comes out from now on, we're planning on reviewing it together.
Yeah, if you guys like this, let us know. Let us know how we're doing, and we'll keep at it.
So if you guys want to take a second, open up Card Game DB, Thrones DB, wherever the cards are right now. We're planning on going through and reviewing the entire box, Stark box, going by number. So you could also, when it comes out this Thursday, right?
Correct.
So you could also just open up your box by then, because I think this will probably be posted on Thursday.
Right.
Yep. All right, so we're going to start with Wolves of the North, the very first card. Cameron, do you want to read it?
Sure. This is King Rob's Host. It's an 8-cost army with military and power icon. It is loyal, and it says no attachments, and has reaction. After you win a military challenge in which King Rob's Host is participating, move 1 power from the losing opponent's faction card to an attacking character. 2 power instead if there is a war plot card revealed. Ryan, what do you think about this card?
Right now I don't think it's very playable. It seems like you need to have a plot like Pentoshi or Marching Orders to even consider playing this. In 1.0 there was a Rob Stark that could just kneel to reduce any army. I could see this being played if that's ever coming out, but right now, with things like tiers in the environment, I can't see this being played.
Right, or even something as simple as like Filthy Accusations. There's just ways to deal with this army that you've spent 8 gold on. And the other problem is that there's characters that we're about to go over right now that are competing for your money. And well, the reaction is enticing. I mean, moving power through a military challenge is a really cool thing, but still I think this needed some kind of cost reduction, or maybe there would be some kind of effect in the future that kind of makes these armies cheaper to play. But for now, I feel like you're better off with one of the new Stark cards, or simply playing like Rob or something similar. So.
And most of the war plots are low gold, from my memory right now. Like 4 is maybe the highest gold war plot, so you're not even get that trigger which 2 power you want until like a following turn.
Yeah.
So we're gonna do ratings out of 5, combine our ratings. You guys will see the overall rating right below the screen.
Yep.
So,
out of 10.
Out of 10. So what'd you get out of 5?
I think for now I'm going to give this a 2 out of 5.
I think I agree with you, 2 out of 5. So 4 out of 10.
Yep.
Alright, next card. Catelyn Stark. 7 gold loyal Stark character. She has an intrigue and a power icon, 5 strength. House Tully, Lady, the 7. Catelyn Stark gets +1 strength for each power she has. And she has a reaction after a Stark character you control is sacrificed or killed. Catelyn Stark gains 1 power, limit twice per round.
I like this card a lot. However, she's competing with her other version of herself, and as we all know, that version is really, really powerful, being able to stop any kind of triggered effect. So that's kind of a problem. And also, this card again costs 7. This is a big investment in a character. I do think she'll see play in like pure Tully decks, or like rush decks, but overall, I don't know. I don't think I'm going to be including her in my deck.
Yeah, compared to the one that costs 4, which I think is almost a 5, her old version.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah, it's this. I think I see this as like a Nedley, I'm building a fun Tully deck,
right,
casual game card. I can't, like, we're going to get to 6-cost characters that are better than her in the same pack. I would probably give her a 3.
Yep. That's kind of where I'm at with this card too right now. It's a 3 out of 5 for me. I mean, she's got power grab, and you can end the game on a wildfire turn or something like that, but it's still just, I don't know, it's just not, for 7 gold, it's just not really doing it for me personally. Alright, so the next card is Eddard Stark. He has a 6-cost military power icon with 6 strength. He is not loyal. He has the Lord and Small Council trait. He has a keyword Renown and has a reaction. After Eddard Stark gains power using Renown, choose another participating character you control. That character gains 1 power.
So good. He is leaps and bounds better than the 7-cost one, in my opinion. At least in Joust, for sure. In Joust.
For melee, I think it's debatable. The 2 Eddards are almost equal, I would say, for melee. But yeah,
this is power rush through and through.
Yeah.
Especially when you can use things like Greywind and Rob to stand your whole board, and that gets you 4 power from this one character.
Or even the new John that we're about to go over here in a second. If you just have John, you can just stand Ned, like, straight up, no Rob tricks or anything. Of course, there's Seal of the Hand, Power Behind the Throne. You have many ways you can stand Ned.
Yeah.
And if you think about it, if you have his reaction trigger twice, that's 4 power. That's not including Power Claim. That's not including any other renowned characters. That's just 4 power from triggering his ability twice, if you're able to stand him. So, really crazy.
I would give this like a 4.5. It's really, really good.
I'm going with a straight up 5 for Ned.
That makes sense. And I'm glad we get another pointing character to add to the the characters. So I think he's pointing the same way as the Wardens.
Yeah. You can actually have a deck with Tywin, the Winterfell Stewards, and Eddard, and they're all kind of like pointing in one direction. It's pretty great.
All right, going on to the next card. I'm guessing this is probably one of your favorites of the pack.
Yep.
The Blackfish. She's a 6-cost loyal Stark character. Military and power, 4 strength, House Tully, Knight Lord. That's a good spread of traits. Renown. While the Blackfish has 4 more power, each House Tully character you control does not kneel when declared as an attacker. In his reaction, after you win a military challenge as the attacking player, draw 1 card, limit once per phase. And this is a World Champion card by Eric. I'm not sure.
Butzlaff?
Yeah, Butzlaff. This is like a 1.0 card. So what do you think of this?
Well, so my first edition Stark deck had 2 copies of this guy pretty much all the time. And he's more or less the same version. It's a little different, but it's still the Blackfish that we know and love. If you're just looking at this card, I think the one thing that stands out to you is maybe his lower strength. 4 is not super good. But I think that was FFG's way of trying to balance this card a little bit, because he's got great traits, he's loyal, good icons, he has Renown, he has Quasi-Draw, and if the stars align, he doesn't kneel to attack. So it's just like so many good things. I feel like that's why his strength is a little bit lower.
Yeah.
But because you're playing Stark, you have plenty of ways to increase that strength and not even make that a big deal.
So the thing that worries me about him more, or most players I think off the bat, is his lower strength. And you think of Dracarys like immediately. I'm actually thinking that the whole Dragon Dracarys thing is going to go down a little bit, especially with First Snow being around. It seems like that hits Targ really bad, especially Fealty.
Sure.
So I actually don't think his 4 strength is that much of a drawback. And if you are building a full Tully deck, I think it's about 3 plots in, you could probably, if you get him out early, you could get that 4 power.
Sure. Or even Banner of the Rose. You can play Lady Sansa's Rose. So basically, if he wins a challenge on his own, that's Renown and 3 power. So that's
disgusting.
That's immediately 4 power, and he doesn't kneel anymore. So, well, him and any House Tullys. I mean, it's a little wombo combo, but hey, that's a 2-card thing.
Someone will be trying that.
A lot of people will be trying that. So Ryan, what is your rating for this?
I would give him 4.5. He's really good.
I'm going to go with another 5. I feel like he's great. Very, very good.
All right.
Is it my turn?
Yep.
Okay. So we have Jon Snow, finally, a star card. 5 cost, military icon, 4 strength, bastard trait, not loyal. He has an action. Sacrifice a star character to choose and stand a unique star character. Limit once per round.
So I'm a little torn in this card. You look at his cost and his icon spread, and you're kind of like, eh. But I think the real little gold nugget in this card is actually the trigger. He is like having another Greywind in your deck with Rob out.
Right.
And that just, Rob, most of you, I'm sure, know, whenever a star character is killed or sacrificed, stand your whole board. This is stand on demand if you get Rob out.
Yep. So unlike Greywind, who has to be standing and knelt to use his ability, Jon Snow can be knelt and use his ability. It doesn't matter. So if you're playing Bear, that's a thing. Or even any player that has filthy accusations, if you're playing Stark, they're going to kneel Greywind all of the time before anything else.
And even if you don't have Rob out, you can just sacrifice your Chud to stand like, say, Eddard, that Eddard we just talked about, and get more power.
Yeah, you don't need Rob out to make
No.
Jon Snow worth it. Just having him on the board is going to make your opponent like really have to think about his challenge math and all the possibilities at your disposal. So I feel like he's a really great card.
If you are playing Lewin, he can get stealth now. That's something that can happen.
Yep. And Lewin, I feel like is a good one-off, so that could happen for sure. I feel like the only thing that can make this card a 5 for me would be maybe a power icon, but as it is, I feel like I'm going to give it a 4.
4 as well for me. Really good. And the art, I love that art.
Yeah.
Wolves of the North. It's a 5-cost loyal Stark character. Military icon, 3 strength, direwolf, no attachments, stealth. Reaction: after Wolves of the North bypasses a character using stealth, that character gains -X strength until the end of the phase. X equals number of direwolf cards you control.
I want to like this card a lot, especially because it's called Wolves of the North. But the thing that my eyes keep going back to is the cost versus its stats, right? So it has 1 icon and 3 strength. So not super great. Stealth is awesome, and its ability is pretty cool, but this is competing with like Littlefinger, Syrio, Greywind, Jon Snow. Like this cost slot is kind of at a premium now. And I mean, it works well with Greywind. You know, if you're able to minus some strength off character and then kill with Greywind, that's cool. But you've spent 10 gold just to get that interaction to go off. And it also works well with the Arya, which we're about to go over. But again, you're spending 5 gold for this reaction, and I'm not sure if it's worth it.
So I have similar thoughts as you, but I think my rating might be a little higher. I can see this card getting better once you can build a direwolf deck, like a really solid direwolf deck, because he combos really well with Greywind. If you have like 4 or 5 direwolves on the table because you're playing a direwolf deck, you can just take Tyrion down to 0 strength or 1 strength and just eat him with Greywind. Like there's some combos that are there, but I think him being loyal is actually nice because in fealty you can reduce him. But yeah, 5 is pretty pricey, and I don't see myself ever playing this unless I'm building a fun direwolf type deck.
Personally, I'm going to give this one a 2.5.
I'm going to give this one a 3.
I
think it might get better over time.
All right, let's move on. We have Arya Stark, a new version. She costs 4, has an intrigue and power icon, 3 strength, not loyal, and a lady trait. Arya has a reaction. After a Stark character you control is killed, sacrifice Arya Stark to choose and kill a character with strength 3 or lower.
I'm not seeing anything that gives her a duplicate, and I don't see stealth anywhere. So I'm not a huge fan of this card, especially the intrigue icon is nice. I would have been fine with her not having a power icon and then having a military icon then. But it's fine. We'll get to Needle. There's some combos you can do that's fun with this, but I really like the cheap stealth of the first Arya.
Yeah, I mean, I like that this is outside of like First Snow of Winter range, but then again, the other Arya naturally should have a dupe to protect her from that as well. And the other Arya kind of plays to Stark's strengths, which is military and, you know, putting through those ices and put to the swords and, you know, winter's coming. This Arya seems kind of like cool and cute, and that effect, sure, like it could be good, but like I feel like most of the time you're going to want to see the other Arya before this one.
This one's more expensive too.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I'm not a fan.
I like it okay. It's
immune to first snow, I guess.
Yeah.
But
it could end up in some decks. For now, I'm going to give it a 3 out of 5.
3 for me as well.
Okay.
Next we have Jory Castle. He's a 4-cost Stark character. Military power, 3 strength. Not loyal. He's a guard. I don't know if we've had a guard trait yet. Interrupt. When a unique Stark character you control would be killed, sacrifice Jory to save it. Then if there's a winter plot card revealed, that character gains 1 power.
So that last part of that I don't really care about. That's like a little cherry on top. It's fine. I guess it could be good. But, I mean, you're playing this guy because he's just a good body, pretty much. He's 4 costs. He doesn't get hit by first snow. He has 2 icons, 3 strength. He's just a solid dude. He works well with like Winterfell Castle, Hot Rod. He's got a really nice interrupt, and you can save people from Tears of Bleast and stuff like that. There's really nothing not to like about this guy. He's a little vanilla, but yeah, I like him.
I'm kind of torn on him. I agree there's nothing not to like about him, but I also think there's not much to like about him. 4 cost is nice for first snow, but I don't need any more of those icons, and the strength is kind of low. I might play ×1 in my start deck.
No, I think he is
Yeah.
a ×1. Personally, I'm going to give him a 3.5.
I'll give him a 3.
Okay. Next up, we have River Run Minstrel. She is a 4-cost, non-unique character with an intrigue and power icon, 3 strength, non-loyal, House Tully, and a minstrel. She has a reaction after River Run Minstrel enters play. Choose a House Tully character. That character gains 1 power.
So out of all the star cards, this is the one I'm the most torn on. I don't know how to feel about it. Looking at it from not building a Tully deck, I like those icons, but like ours 2 start decks are different. Mine's more about kill, kill, kill. Yours has a more balanced icon spread. So I really see having a non-unique character that can have that intrigue icon really helpful. And the ability is nice. I think once you can actually play more Tully cards, she'll be really good in Tully deck. I'm not quite sure if I'd include her in my deck right now.
Yeah, I'm not going to go nuts with her. I might try 1 or 2 copies. The reason why you'd play her is to fuel like the Blackfish and stuff like that, and also
Catelyn.
yeah, and also she kind of takes away the negative part of the House Tully Septon, which we're about to get to in a few cards, which you use power to reduce the cost of characters. So this kind of negates that in a way. I like that you can put the power on herself when she comes into play, and it's also kind of a fun way to close out a game. If you were to win initiative, play this character, and maybe use sneak attack just to kind of seal the deal.
Yeah.
You know, it's a way to close a game. I feel like it's a solid card. Nothing too incredible, but good.
It's another 3 for me.
Yep, I'm going to go with a 3 on this.
All right, next we got a card I hated in 1.0. I hated with a passion.
I loved it.
Old Nan, 3-cost start character, intrigue icon, 2 strength, not loyal, the storyteller trait. I'm pretty sure she is the only storyteller in 1.0 as well. Interrupt. When a plot card is revealed, kneel Old Nan to have that plot card gain the summer or winter trait until the end of the round.
Yeah, it's an interesting card. It's really hard to gauge right now, though, considering, no one's been using any kind of season tech because there hasn't been the support for that stuff. I do like, though, that she can mess with your plot card or your opponent's. It just says when a plot card is revealed, she can give a trait to it. So it's interesting. I don't see her getting a lot of play until maybe the season agendas come out. So I think maybe if you are going to be playing her right now, you'd maybe throw her in like a Lord of the Crossing deck just for that intrigue icon. I like her okay. It's really hard to say, though, like how she's going to end up.
I think she'll get better over time. Right now, I won't be playing her probably at all. That art, too, I like the art, but not for that card. I think I get nightmares if she was telling me nighttime stories with that lighting, but I would give it a 2.5.
Me too. 2.5.
Right.
Next up is Asha.
Oh my god.
She is a unique star character. She costs 3, has a military and intrigue icon, 2 strength, not loyal, wildling traded, and she has a challenges action. Remove Asha from the challenge, then stand her. Limit once per phase.
This might be my favorite card in the entire pack. This card is bonkers good. And 1.0 is pretty much a reprint of the 1.0 card.
Right.
And that card was beyond annoying. And I could see this being great in Lord of the Crossings.
Yep.
Just get that first entry challenge out of the way. Stand her right back up. Don't even care about what happens. Maybe you kneel character. You made them kneel character.
Even with something like Wardens of the North, consider this. You have Asha participate in the challenge, and your opponent knows that you have all these challenge tricks you can do, but what are they going to do about it? You know what I mean? So what you could do is initiate like an intrigue or military challenge with her. Your opponent says unopposed. You're like, okay, well, never mind. I'm going to stand her up. Or you're going to actually jump like maybe Bran or a character with insight in there and then remove her from the challenge. That way, it's just so many challenge tricks you can do with stuff like Wardens of the North or like the Kennel Masters. Stark is getting to be a real pain in the butt as far as challenges goes, and I agree with you. I feel like she's one of the best cards in the box. She gets a 5 for me.
That art, though. That art is so good. She's a 5 for me. It's an amazing card.
Yeah. No downside here.
All right. Next, we have Bear Island Loyalist. 3-cost start character. Non-unique. Military, power, 2 strength. Loyal. House Mormont. While Bear Island Loyalist is participating in a challenge, each other participating start character you control gains immune to opponent's events.
First of all, I gotta give a shout out to Dave, who works at the Fantasy Flight Games Game Center. This is art that's kind of based off of his look or appearance, and he's a great guy. He's always helping us out with running events, and just a really friendly dude. So it's really awesome that we got a card with his art on it. And the card itself is pretty freaking great.
One of the best non-unique start characters, I would say.
Yeah, I mean, it stops your opponent's crap, like Tears of, maybe not Tears of Lease, but like Dracarys or Put to the Sword and stuff. He's great used defensively and offensively.
But I like how he's not immune, so he can still take the hit, so your opponent can deal with that character if they need to get him out of the way.
It's perfect art, because he's like just a big meat shield. He's like taking one for the team for your characters. I just love that design.
Next time you guys are here for Worlds, make sure you talk to Dave. He's at the front counter. Yeah. You'll recognize him. He looks just like that art. I'm sure he'll be happy to sign that card for you.
Your opponent, also keep in mind that if they are attacking you and they want to fire off some kind of event like Put to the Sword or something, this is what they're going to have to stealth now instead of one of your big heavy hitters, right? Because if they don't stealth him, then your characters that are participating are going to be immune to events.
And they might be telegraphing what they're doing too by stealthing, which is nice.
So it's another hurdle for your opponents to jump over. So great card. What are you going to rate it?
4 for me.
Yep. I'm gonna say 4 too. I like it a lot. Super solid.
All right, next card.
Next card we have Sansa Stark, who is a unique character. She has 2 costs, has an intrigue icon, power, 4 strength. She's loyal and has a lady trait. And her text box reads, Sansa Stark gets -1 strength for each Stark character in your dead pile. While Sansa Stark strength is 0, she gains insight.
I love this card. I love it from a gameplay point, and I love it from a Nedley point. I get how good the core set Sansa is. I like this one a lot more. I could see you playing the core set one in a Night's Watch, like if you're bannering. But this one, it takes the cake for me. It's a cheap character you get in the table. If you can get cards like this or Hodor or cheaper characters out on setup, this is great for setup. And if she is lower strength, you get an insight maybe.
Yeah. I like it a lot too. I feel like this is pretty much on par with the core version. Although it's interesting because unlike the core version, this one's not really getting you power, so it's kind of almost working against some of the rush themes that we're seeing with Stark now. But it's as efficient as Hodor is, and late game she's going to give you insight, which is kind of what you want to refill your hand and keep you in the game. I really don't think you can go wrong here. She's really solid. What are you going to rate her?
4 for me.
Yeah, I'm going to go with a 4 too.
All right, next we have Shaggy Dog, a unique 2-cost Stark character. Military icon, 3 strength, not loyal, direwolf, no attachments. While you control Rickon Stark, he gets +2 strength and gains a military icon.
Oh yeah,
Village time.
My Rickon and the Voltron deck is all coming together. No, but Shaggy Dog is a good, cost-effective little chud. He's not blowing the world away, but there's really nothing bad about him at the same time. He works well with Roderick. That's another unique military character for another draw if you're playing Roderick. And he's a great target for the Pack Survives if you're playing that cancel for Stark. You could sacrifice the Direwolf and trigger Rob to cancel an event and get a stand out of it.
He'll be a ×1 for me for a while. I'd give him a 3. There's not much to say about him, but he's good.
Yeah, he's a solid little guy. I'll give him a 3 too. And next up, we have a non-unique Star character, House Tully Septon. He's 2 costs, has a power icon, 2 strength, not loyal. And for traits, he has Ally, House Tully, and the 7. He has a marshalling action. Discard 1 power from a character you control to reduce the cost of the next House Tully or the 7 character you marshal this phase by 2. Limit once per phase.
I think eventually this guy is going to get there. He'll be a nice chud in a House Tully deck. Right now, there's not enough targets for him, in my opinion. And I don't need another character with a mono power icon. I like the Kennel Masters for that more. He's not blowing me away.
Yeah. Yeah, his competition right now for this cost slot is the Kennel Masters or Direwolf Pups.
And the Knights, too.
Sure.
Yeah.
If you're not really playing around with a lot of Direwolf Pups, and you're playing a number of Tullys, you're going to be playing this guy, I would think. I like him fine. He's efficient, 2 costs, 2 strength, power icon's good. I don't know. I feel like he's okay, and he's going to be pretty decent.
He'll work nice. This will be the character you'll be sacrificing or killing to trigger your stuff, probably.
Yeah. Yep.
What would you rate him?
I'm probably going to go with a 2.5.
2.5 for me, too.
All right.
Next we have Rickon Stark, 1 cost Stark character. No icons, 1 strength, not loyal, Lord, and he has an interrupt. When the effects of a triggered ability with the word search in it would initiate, sacrifice Rick on start to cancel those events.
Oh, did you say sacrifice?
Yes.
Oh, wow, that's really good.
I said 1 cost, too.
So this is pretty amazing. Sure, he's just a little kid. He has no icons, but guys, that's another sacrifice for Rob. He's a 1 cost character, so that's incredible for setup. Stops search effects like plot or otherwise. You can use it to stop events that search as well. I think this card is amazing.
Yeah, this card is really good. I think it'll be at least a ×1 forever. I know that's a pretty big statement, but I would run 2 maybe right now. That's 1 cost. I know a lot of newer players don't quite understand. I've seen some comments like 1 cost, no icons. Why is this guy good? You want the most cards you can get on setup, and this guy helps that. You want to get a good strong start, drop cards, and this also gives you a good start, but it also can hurt your opponent having a good start. If they have a bad start going, they need to search for a character. That's not happening while he's on the board.
Yeah, and it's worst case scenario, you're going to be using it for like Claim Soak or Food for Greywind, so there's really no downside to this card. Ryan, what are you giving him?
Just because he has no icons, a 4.5.
I'm going with a 5.
All right, next card.
All right, next card is Winterfell. It's a 4-cost unique Stark location, traded the North and Winterfell. It says each Stark character you control gets +1 strength, and has a reaction after a challenge is initiated, Kneel Winterfell. Then each player with a non-Winter plot card revealed cannot trigger card abilities until the end of the challenge.
So I'm a little torn on this one. The text is bonkers good. Really good. You don't even need to have a Winter plot out
to make it good.
Yeah, you can just stop all triggers, so it's like having another Caitlyn on the board.
Yeah.
The only thing that I'm kind of worried about is 4 costs. That's not really great for setup. It is loyal, so you can reduce it, so I think that counters that a little bit. I just don't want to see this in my opening hand.
Yeah, this is going to be used defensively most of the time against stuff like Dracarys and Tears of Least. If you're just like, even if you don't want to trigger anything, like put to the sword or whatever, you just want to make sure that your characters stay alive.
Yes.
Or use defensively if you're getting attacked. You just want to turn this thing on. It's great even if without the winter plots, and of course the 1+ strength to all your characters, like, you know, unconditionally is awesome. For anyone who's played against the Night's Watch and the Wall, it's like that +1 can really make a difference. So I like it.
How would you rate it?
Because of its cost, I'm gonna go with a 3 out of 5.
Ooh, I'm at a 4. I like it.
I like it too. I just feel like the cost is gonna kind of hurt sometimes, but all right.
Next location is Winterfell Heart Tree. 1 cost. Old Gods Winterfell, not loyal. Reaction: after a phase begins, sacrifice Winterfell Heart Tree to choose a Stark character you control. Until the end of the phase, that card gains immune to opponent's plot effects.
Mm-hmm. I like this card a lot. It's great because it's cheap. And if you anticipate something like a wildfire, you can pop this, and maybe your opponent won't play the wildfire, but maybe you also force them not to play that wildfire because you use this card. So it's good just to mess with your opponent, and also keep in mind that you can set up a big 7-cost character with this out, pop it to stop March to the Wall, and not worry about it.
All I really have to say is 1 cost. That already makes it playable to me, and the ability is perfect.
Yeah.
What'd you give it?
I'm going to go with 3.5.
I'm going to go with a 4.
Okay. Moving right along to one of my favorite cards, we have Nymeria, who's a unique Stark attachment, 2 cost. She has the Direwolf trait. It says unique Stark character only, and attached character gains Intimidate. And then she has an action, pay 1 gold to attach Nymeria to a different character, limit once per phase.
This is bonkers good. I have a 4 written down here, but after just hearing you read that again, I'm going to have to bring that up a little bit. The fact that you can intimidate 2 people in a turn is absurd to me, especially since in Stark there's ways to stand characters back up and use them again. Mm-hmm. So you might not even need to move this to do that. Right. So you could trigger 3 intimidates with this, which is just gross. Gross.
Yeah, I mean, it's an offensive card, so it's not going to do much for you if you're kind of taking the heat. But man, it can do some serious damage. So don't let her looks fool you. This is a powerful.
And if you can
card.
get like Greywind down, or you have a put to the sword or ice out, and you just go balls in military, and then you can trigger that 2 intimidates possibly. It's just really good. I also love.
Well, you can only do 1 intimidate per challenge.
I'm thinking about if you have Greywind out too, like if you're going full out military.
No, I'm saying that's a part of the keyword.
Okay, good call. I also love the art because the art is not intimidating, but that's what makes me like it. It's like the most innocent looking direwolf is what's gonna intimidate your opponent.
It's a little cat dog. It's great. Ryan, what are you gonna give this?
4.5.
I'm going with a 5.
Yep, really good.
All right.
Next we have Needle. It's a 1-cost Stark attachment, unique weapon. Stark character only. Attached character gets +2 strength, and it has an interrupt. When attached character is sacrificed, sacrifice Needle to return that character to your hand instead of placing in your discard pile.
Again, it's a cheap attachment that gives you strength, and if anyone who's been playing Lady knows how good simply strength can be. Now, while this can't move around, it does give you some sacrifice synergy that I like. It's really good on Bran, so you can use Bran again when you marshal. It's good with Rickon, so you can use him again, and it's also great with Jory. He goes back to your hand, and you can play him again the next round for another save. I like it a lot, and it also really annoys Greyjoy.
I think it's okay. It's hard for me because I keep thinking about Widow's Wail, and I like Widow's Wail, how it pops in, and right now I'm considering not even playing Widow's Wail in my Lannister deck, so it's a little too combo-y for me. It works really good with Arya, the new one, which I probably won't be playing. It's just a 3 for me.
I'm going to go with 4.
All right.
I like it. All right, next up we have a classic from 1st edition. It's Frozen Solid, a non-unique attachment that costs 1. Has a condition trait. Frozen Solid says non-limited location with printed costs 3 or lower only, and terminal. Then it says treat attached locations printed text box as if it were blank, except for traits.
So right now I think this is just okay. I maybe would just run 1. It's just because the game is still new and there's not that many targets to go after right now. I think eventually, in like a year, other houses will be begging to have this card available in their deck. It'll get better over time.
I like it a lot. It's point and click, like location control. So unlike Put to the Torch or something, you don't have to really do the work to control that location. It just solves problems gets rid of headache locations that are really annoying you, like Plaza and Red Keep and stuff like that. I wouldn't go nuts with it. Maybe throw 1 or 2 copies in as you need.
I'm just really nervous about drawing this card and just seeing a bunch of limited locations and nothing. Yeah,
it's not quite as good as the 1st edition counterpart, because that one could also blank attachments. But this is still really good. What are you going to give it?
3.
I'm going to go 3.5.
All right, next we're moving on to our events. Heart is Winner, a 1-cost Stark event, non-loyal. Play only if there's a winner plot card in your use pile. Reaction. After a Stark character you control is sacrificed or killed, put a Stark character with equal or lower printed cost into play from your hand.
I like this card a lot. I like how they did the winter stipulation. I like that it doesn't have to be when it's revealed, but just there has to be one in your use pile. I like that a lot. I feel like this is a very strong reaction. Of course, you're going to need that character in your hand. So you're going to want to put some draw in your deck to make sure your hand has a few characters in it at least. But unlike something like I Never Bet Against My Family or Hear Me Roar, this character won't get discarded. It's not a part of that condition. It just stays in play. So I feel like this can be a very strong card that we'll see play.
I'm not sure how I feel about this card. I would probably give it a 3. I think it's going to be better once I actually see it played. Right now I can't really wrap my head around doing it, but I could see you doing annoying things where it's like Greywind eats somebody, get to put the character equal cost out. I'll give it a 3 right now. I'm
going to go with a 4. All right. Next up, we have a 0-cost event for Stark. It's loyal. It's called The Pack Survives. Interrupt. When the effects of an opponent's event would initiate, sacrifice a direwolf card or kneel 2 Stark characters to cancel this effects.
When a direwolf deck becomes possible, I can see this being your cancel. I really wish it had cannot be canceled. They're immune to events, so it would make sense that you'd play this over Hand's Judgment. I just can't see myself putting this. It's a cards event slot. The event slots are at a premium for me.
Well, you'd play this over Hand's Judgment for a few reasons, possibly. Because if you're making fealty deck, those neutral slots are at a premium. So this can replace that and help you out there in that regard. Also, unlike Hand's Judgment, this always will cost 0. And this also is a sacrifice trigger if you have a direwolf card. And if it's a direwolf character, then you can trigger Rob. So that's why, like before I mentioned Shaggy Dog, if you sacrifice a direwolf like him, you're going to trigger Rob and just go nuts if your opponent plays an event. And so you don't even need like Bran on the board anymore. Your opponent has to really even just watch for direwolves in play, and you can maybe sacrifice and hit a stand. So
the way I look at it now is I have 3 Brans in my deck, and I don't play any Hand's Judgments because of that. I can't see myself playing this right now, so I'm gonna have to give it a 2.
I'm gonna give it a 3. I like it. I'm not one to play a ton of events, but it's solid.
Next we have Arya's Gift. It's a 0-cost non-loyal Stark event, and it has an action. Move an attachment from a Stark character you control to another eligible character you control. Not another eligible Stark character, another eligible character.
I like this card a lot. I feel like it's, on paper, it's maybe a little underwhelming, but just the challenge tricks it allows you is just kind of insane. If you, let's say you try to shoot off ice with an attack, and your opponent boosts their character strength and stops your ice from going off, and then they go back to hit you, well, you can move ice to a standing character and defend and fire off ice again. You can also get another move with your direwolf attachments, so you can use Nymeria 3 times, or use Lady, more than, 2 times, so you can use her 3 times. Or even move Needle for that extra strength. It's just,
or Milk.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, you can get Milk off of Rob finally and stuff like that. There's a lot of utility to this card. That's again, it keeps going back to the theme with Starks just messing with the challenge math and giving your opponent a headache. I like it a lot.
Again, event space is at a premium for me. I might try running one of this right now, and it's mostly to move Milk or negative attachments. I'm just gonna give it a 2.
I'm gonna go in a pretty opposite direction. I'm gonna give it a 4.5. I feel like this card's existence can also allow you to finally stop playing Confiscation, so it can free up a plot slot if it does indeed turn out to be a great card.
Doesn't get move your opponent's attachments though. That's the only reason I'm currently playing Confiscation, is to get rid of their seal to hand there.
Right. Your mileage may vary. I like it a lot. Okay, next up we have a Baratheon attachment. It is a 1-cost non-unique attachment with a condition trait. Opponent's character only. Attached character gains the full trait, and has reaction. After attached character is declared as an attacker or defender, discard 1 card at random from its controller's hand.
So good and so annoying. I really like this card. It's not gonna win you games, but it's gonna deal with a lot of that targeted kill. Once you get into games and people are top decking, and they have to get rid of a card at random for using that good character that you're putting this on. I like this card a lot. I'd play 2 Innerbear Fealty deck right now.
I like it a lot too. These kind of attachments where it only goes on your character or your opponent's characters, to me those are like event slot cards. So these slots are, for me, kind of hard to come by. You have Seen in Flames and like those other good Baratheon events, like Ours is a Fury. We're about to get into another one here that's really good. But it is undeniably a great card. It's not terminal, so even if that character goes away, this is coming back to your hand, so you can replay it. Super good card.
I would give it a 4 out of 5.
I think so too. I think this is a good 4.
Alright, next we have a Baratheon event, Even-Handed Justice, 2 gold. Action, choose a standing character controlled by each player. Kneel each of those characters, even-handed.
Completely fair. Not imbalanced at all. Yeah, this is a very strong card, and I feel like it's rightly costed at 2. And I feel like they may have even made it non-loyal just so you couldn't pay, do it for 1 in, your fealty or whatever. But yeah, of course you're going to be kneeling one of your chumps and kneeling your opponent's biggest character possible with this. But again, these slots are at a premium, and we're getting to the point with Baratheon where it's like, ooh man, which events am I going to play? Which attachments am I going to include and stuff like that. So
melee, I'd play a couple of these. It's really good in melee to choose multiple characters. I think this, if you are still playing any, this replaces, I forgot the name of it, the marshalling action. You'll force strength of characters.
Consolidation.
This replaces that if you are still playing it. If you're not playing that event right now, I don't know if this makes it in your deck. It's good, but I'm not sure if it makes it. But I'll give it a 3.5.
I'm going to go with a 4. I think it's solid. My turn?
Yep.
Next up, we have Fish Whiskers. He is a Greyjoy unique character, 5 cost, has a military and power icon at 3 strength, has the House Botley and Ironborn traits, and it says, while Fish Whiskers is attacking, if there are more winter plots than summer plot cards revealed, each defending character does not contribute its strength to that challenge.
Dumb. I don't... This card's really, really good, but I don't like these cards for the game. I'm worried about Greyjoy that they're going into this corner where it's like, I win this challenge. I just win this challenge. Like, I'm worried that they're focusing too much on that. If you're playing against you, if you're not playing any of the summer plots in your deck, he just automatically wins a challenge. He becomes better than Balon. He's really good.
Yeah, he's very good. I think, I mean, he does cost 5, and
yes.
You are going to have to include maybe a winter plot or 2 to make sure his ability works properly. But if those things are going for you, then this is basically another Balon. Very, very strong.
I would give him a 4.5.
Yeah, 4.5 for me.
All right, next we have Ahead of the Tide. It's a 0-cost Greyjoy event, and it has an interrupt. When you compare initiative on your revealed plot card, gets +3 initiative until the end of the phase. If you win initiative this phase, draw 1 card.
This card is very good. It's amazing in melee. It all but guarantees you winning an initiative if you have the right plot cards. That said, in Joust, it's very good too. Although this is, again, we're going back to those slots that are so important. And I know that Greyjoy is already at that point where it's like, man, do I include Throwing Axe? Do I include this or that? And this is like, how many of these are you actually going to run? I know it replaces itself, but you're still you're including this card in your deck over another. So,
yeah, I agree. I don't know if there's a slot for right now. It's a melee card for me right now. Once Dark Wings comes out again, it'll be nice to have one of this in your deck, since you'll be drawing 2 cards possibly from it if they keep it the same. It's a 2.5 for me right now.
I'm gonna go with 3.5.
All right, next card.
Next up, we have a Lannister non-unique character, Crossroads Sellsword. Wow, that's really hard to say.
Yeah.
So 3 costs, military and intrigue icon, and 2 strength. Interrupt when, I'm just going to say this, character is killed during the challenges phase. Gain 2 gold.
So when I first saw this card a while back, I just kind of thought, what were they thinking? Why would I play this character? But then after looking and playing Lords of the Crossing and playing the Bouncing in Characters event, all the Bouncing in Characters events, I'm really liking this card, especially since Lannister's 3-cost slot is not looking too hot right now. And the gold can be really good. That could mean the difference between you putting out the Hound again and doing that 3rd Lord of the Crossing challenge with him. I like him a lot. I put 2 of them in my deck right now.
I think it's solid. They obviously design a lot of these cards, these other faction cards, in the Stark box to kind of combat Stark a little bit and kind of offset the surplus amount of Stark cards that Stark is getting. So the design here was, well, Stark might kill this guy, and then this gold gives Lannister tricks to fight back a little bit. So it makes sense design-wise. I feel like he's solid. Yeah, like I said, maybe 1 or 2 copies, kind of see how it goes. I'll probably give it a 3 out of 5.
Yeah, good, not great. 3.5 for me.
Okay.
Next we got Tower of the Hand. It's a 3-cost unique Lannister location with the King's Landing trait. With a reaction, after you win an entry challenge, kneel Tower of the Hand and return a participating Lannister character to your hand. To choose a character with lower print cost controlled by the losing opponent, return that character to its owner's hand.
Yep.
So good.
So good. A few key things here to remember, though, before we get carried away, is that it costs 3, and it's limited to intrigue challenges, and it has to be our participating Lancer character, so that Lancer character needs an entry icon. So you're not going to be bouncing back Gregor or anything like that to your hand, right? But it still does support the jumping lions stuff. I never bet against my family and Hear Me Roar. Instead of those cards being discarded, they're coming back to your hand now. And of course, removing characters from your opponent's board is always good. This is a very strong card.
I love this card. The only thing that's holding back for me is the cost. Crazy as it sounds, I'm not playing any land sports in my Never Bet Against My Family. I'm playing 2 Counting Coppers, so this will kind of fill that slot for my deck right now. I really like it. With Never Bet Against My Family, you can just take a Tyrion, put him out from the bottom of your deck, get your gold from him, and then pop him in a 5-cast character. That's bonkers. And if you're really desperate, you can get rid of a Tywin to get rid of a huge problem character that's on the other side of the board that you could probably afford to put back out over your opponent.
Sure. I
really like it. I'll give it a 4 out of 5.
Yeah, I'm going to go with the 4 too. Very good card. Sorry, getting out of this.
Yeah.
All right, next up we have a unique Martell character, Quentin Martell. He's 6 cost, military and power icon with 4 strength. He has the Knight and Lord trait. He is non-loyal, and it says, while you are not the first player, Quentin Martell gets +1 strength and stealth, and has an interrupt. When Quentin Martell is killed, choose and kill a character with lower strength than his.
Now, before I even start, I got a question here. If he's getting strength boost, does that count, or is his strength back to his base when he's killed?
I think it counts. There's no weird.
Okay, so his rating's gonna go up for me. This card can be really good if you have Doran out.
Yeah.
You could kill anyone you please.
Pretty much.
They really needed the 6-cost character, and the stealth is great. I love this card.
Yeah, the stealth really helps with the Viper's reaction to it. Helps you get those huge numbers, and
he has great traits. Another Lord.
Yep. So those really huge Lord of the Crossing third challenge, where it's like everyone's +2, and then Quentin has stealth, and it's just like crazy amounts of strength. You're really gonna be able to rack up some power with this guy and the Viper and stuff, especially with Dorn out. Of course, that's a lot of pieces that I mentioned, but still, I mean that's how Martell wins.
The nice thing is they played a long plan, so you can draw into all those pieces eventually. I would give this a 4.5. Really good.
I'm gonna go with a 4. I like him.
All right. Next is his Viper Eye. His Viper Eye is a 0-cost Martell event. It has reaction. After you lose a military or power challenge as the defending player, look at the winning opponent's hand. Then choose and discard 1 card from that hand.
So this is like basically Martell's Scene in Flames kind of card. You're basically losing this card and taking their best in exchange and gaining hand knowledge. It's a really strong card, and punishes your opponent for winning against you, which is kind of Martell's thing. I like this card a lot. I feel like it's very good.
I'm not the biggest fan of this card. I think it will get replaced soon, but right now I'd run 1 or 2 copies. I'll give it like a 3.
I'm gonna go with a 4.
All right.
Moving right along, we have a Night's Watch unique character named Stone Snake. He's non-loyal. Has a military icon, 4 strength, and a ranger trait. He has stealth, and a reaction that says, after Stone Snake bypasses a character using stealth, choose one of that character's keywords. Stone Snake gains that keyword until the end of the phase.
So I kind of had to go into the small council here and ask Nick from our meta. He plays Night's Watch all the time. He had Best of House Night's Watch at Worlds. What he thought of this card, because I don't play Night's Watch that much, and we kind of agreed it doesn't really fit a current theme. The Ranger trait is one of his best attributes for that event. He's not as good as Greywind. He's a 5-cost mono icon character. I don't think he sees play until a more aggressive Night's Watch deck is available.
Yeah, I feel like the 1 icon is really hurting this character. If he had like a power and military, sure, this would be great, especially with the stealth, because then that's a lot of defense potential.
And the best you're going to do is take a Renown, I would say.
Yeah.
So I would give him a 2, but since he has stealth, I'll give him a 2.5.
Sure, I'm right there with you. He's okay at best.
Next we have Shadow Black Tower, a unique Night's Watch location, 1 cost, the north. Reaction: after you win a challenge as a defending player, kneel Shadow Tower to choose a character controlled by a losing opponent. That character cannot be declared as an attacker this phase.
Seems pretty good, Ryan.
Very good. This is one of their best cards, especially at 1 cost.
Yeah. This is really good with what is it for the Watch? The
Yes.
Night's Watch plot.
Yes.
It's just this is so efficient with being one cost. You're probably gonna throw 2 of these in your deck just because you want to see
This would get Frozen Solid. Like, these are the kind of locations you put Frozen Solid on. It's one cost. I'll give it a 4.5.
Yeah, 4.5.
Really good.
All right, next up we have Ago. He is a unique Targaryen character. He is 5 cost, has a military and intrigue icon, which is pretty good. 4 strength. He has a Blood Rider and Dothraki traits, and he has an action. If there is a summer plot card revealed, choose and stand a Blood Rider character. Limit once per round.
Finally, we have a really good Dothraki character that can be good, like, right away. Like, he can trigger on himself, which I like. I love the icon spread. The cost is fine. I don't know if you play him in the Dragon deck. I think you play one of in the Dragon deck if you're not playing your Illyrio at all. I like him. He's just good.
Yeah. I mean, the thing that's really attractive about him is that those 2 icons, those are just great. That's a great icon pairing to have. And, the Dothraki stuff is only going to get better. For now, I'll probably give him a 4.
Yeah, I mean, you have to wait till more summer cards come, but yeah, I'll give him a 4 right now. Okay. Next, we have Dragon Sight, a 1-cost target event, and it's an action. Each participating non-dragon character gets -1 strength until the end of the challenge.
Okay, I don't play Targaryen, and you do, but I'm gonna say just my initial.
Not that good.
Well,
it looks better than it is.
Yeah, that's probably what I would say about it. It looks better than it is. It's scary, but yeah, it's just like it's again those slots. Are you really playing this?
There's no room for this right now. I think in Targ. You would think it would help you kill characters. I don't think it's going to do that so much with the plot and Danny out. Maybe there'll be a good surprise. I think at best it's just surprise I win this challenge type event. If you actually have dragons in there too to balance that out so you win.
Right.
I would give it a 2.5 or maybe a 2. I'm going to give it a 2 actually.
I'm going to go with 2.5.
All right.
I feel like it's going to annoy me sometimes, but we'll see. Next up, we have a non-unique Tyrell character. He is the House Florent Knight, 5 cost, military and intrigue, and he has 3 strength. He has the House Florent and Knight traits, and a forced reaction after House Florent Knight enters play. Choose a character with the lowest strength in play and discard it from play.
I'm really excited to look at the art in my binder at this card because I won't be playing it. It's too expensive. It can't get anything with higher than 3 strength because it's gonna hit yourself if you try to do that. His own character. I don't like House Florent. It's not a Baratheon card. I just don't like this card pretty much. Besides the art.
2 little changes that would have made this a great card in my opinion. Make it 4 cost and make it a normal reaction. Make that reaction optional.
Oh, it's forced too. Oh, yeah. I missed that. Yeah, I would give this a 1.5. I did not like this card. This is my least favorite card in the box, probably.
Yeah, this is really underwhelming. Yeah, 1.5. Aw, I feel bad now.
All right, to the Rose Banner, Knights of the Round Table, we'll call it.
Yes.
All right, boys, time for some training.
We're Knights of the Round Table, we dance whenever we're able. We do routines, we call the scenes, the footwork impeccable. We dine well here in Camelot, we eat ham and jam and spam a lot.
I love this card already.
The art is funny.
Yeah.
0 cost Tyrell event has a marshalling action. Choose a Tyrell character you control, gain X gold, or X equals that character's strength, then sacrifice that character. Sorry, I was looking at the art again. What do you think?
It's interesting. These kind of effects, like Indorn's Name, where you're just gaining gold. These cards are really hard to gauge. I don't know. This is really gonna have to be one that I playtest and get a feel for. But I feel like it's gonna have its uses. But I don't know. I like it, but I can't say that I love it.
Tyrell has the worst cards in this box. So I'm gonna give this a 2.
I'll give it a 3. I feel like there's a place for it. We'll see. And next up, we have a big ol' 7 cost neutral unique character. His name is Mance Rayder. He has a military, intrigue, and power icon. He has 5 strength and renown. He has the King and Wildling traits. And he also says, each Wildling character in your hand gains Ambush X. X is that card's printed cost. And while there is a Winter Plot card revealed, reduce the cost to ambush those Wildling characters by 1.
Right now, he's okay. He has good stats. He has Renown. I don't know if you'd include him in a deck for that, but once more and more Wildling cards come out, you're going to be like digging for this character, especially if you're playing a Winter Plot deck where you can ambush those characters that are giving people stealth or that have stealth. And you can ambush those armies in for cheaper, that get ones that get rid of attachments, one that can boost themselves. I like him a lot. I don't love him. He's going to get really good, though, I think.
I feel like if you were going to play him now, you'd probably slot him into either a Lannister or Tyrell deck because they have those cards with an insane amount of golds on them, so you can maybe afford this guy mid-game. And especially if you're playing those like Wildling Scouts and other Wildling characters, you gotta have a little synergy there. And of course, Renown Tricon is nothing to sneeze at either. I like this card. He will see play. The King trait will come into play later in the next cycle, of course. And yeah, I feel like he's really solid.
I'll give him a 3.5. I think he's going to be a solid 4, though, eventually.
I'm just going to go with the 4 now.
All right. Next, we have Young Spearwife, speaking of Wildlings. 3-cost non-unique neutral character, military icon, Wildling. While you have less power on your faction card than an opponent, Young Spearwife gains stealth.
Not a big fan. It's just the less power thing. It's just that I don't really like that condition a lot. And the fact that it's 3 cost for 1 icon and 2 strength is not great either. And this is coming from a player that really likes playing Stark too. And so the military stealth thing is kind of a big deal. But yeah, this is just not really doing it for me a lot.
If I didn't see Mance before this, I would think this card's really bad. Eventually, she'll become good, especially since you could ambush her in for 2. Right now, you don't play this card, though, at all, in my opinion. I would give it a 2.
Yeah, right now, I like the Wildling Scout more. Kind of does the same thing in a different way. I'll give it a 2 as well. And moving right along, we have a House Maester. He's a non-unique character. 2 cost, intrigue, and power icon, and 2 strength, and that's all there is to say about that.
There's not much to say, yeah. I'm tempted to put him in Lannister decks that aren't fealty to get that power icon, that cheap power icon. I would have loved if this guy was in the core set, to be honest. The more Maester effects that come out, though, the better he'll get.
Yep. If you already have a deck that has more than 1 Maester, maybe you throw another 1 or 2 of these guys in there for Here to Serve, just for that flexibility, especially if you like that icon pairing. And he's a great efficient Chud. He's 2 cost, 2 strength, 2 icons. There's really no downside here. I'll give it a 4.
I think I'll give it a 3.5 for now.
Okay.
Next we have Turning Grounds. It's a 1-cost non-unique neutral location. It has a new trait on it, Contested, in Westeros. Action: kneel Turning Grounds to reduce the cost of the next event you play this phase by 1. It's not limited either.
A non-limited economy card. What? It's really good, but you are going to need those. Not only a number of events in your deck, but a number of events that cost gold or money to make this worth considering, I would say. It being 1 cost is great for setup, but again, I feel like this is only going to make some decks.
Same. And I think the decks it makes, it's only ×1 and ×2 if you're like really going crazy with events. Mm-hmm. It's good though. I can see this easily fitting in 1 slot in almost every deck I have right now.
Sure.
I would give it a 4.5.
I'll give it a 3.5.
All right. Next is Green Dreams.
Green Dreams is a non-unique attachment, 0 cost. It's a dream, which is cool. And that art, what?
I hope they keep going with that trippy art for all the
so
dreams.
Cool. Yeah. I can't wait to see. Well, if Nightmares is coming, right?
Yeah,
that got spoiled. Yeah.
Sure.
Can't wait to see Nightmares. Anyway, so this has the terminal trait and has reaction. After attached character is knelt, look at the top card of your deck. You may put that card on the bottom of your deck.
I don't know how good this will be, but I'm really out of all these neutral cards, this one I'm most excited to like just try. I could see Never Bet Against My Family. This works again with that, and I just like it. I'm gonna try a couple copies in a few of my decks, but it's 0.
Yeah, I also like it in Stark, naturally, because they have a lot of standing tech. Or
Winterfell, Gates of Winterfell too. That works nice with that.
Yep. And this it's not like this kneels it to do its thing. It's when the characters kneel. So if you can kneel a character a couple times, then you can use this effect a couple times too to kind of tutor and find what you need. It's an interesting card. It's gonna be fine. It's gonna be a little hard to find a slot for it, but I feel like in the right deck where you have a good amount of standing, yeah, I like it a lot, especially with like Gates of Winterfell or something where it's like, oh, I need to find that start card.
In decks, I think you would want attachments to protect yourself from strong abilities that don't target heal attachments. I think this beats out Bodyguard slightly for me, just because it's a positive thing. It's also interesting to know you can put this on your opponent's character. I'm not sure when you would do that, but that's an option.
Sure.
This would be really good on Osha, where you can use her twice.
Yes.
And use this twice. But yeah, I would give the card a 4 because it's 0. Doesn't fit in every deck, but it's good.
I'm gonna go with 3.5. All right.
Oh, this card. Healing Expertise. It's a 0-cost neutral event. Citadel traded. Interrupt. When a non-army character you control would be killed, kneel a Maester character to save it. All I'm gonna say is this card's lucky it has a neutral Maester that came on this box. Otherwise, it'd be even worse, harsher.
I do not like this card. I mean, saving is good, but this is an event slot. This is like an event that is taking space in your deck for a save that requires a Maester and a Maester that's standing.
And it could be intrigued out of your hand before the military or whatever even happens.
It's just not working for me.
Yeah, I'll give it a 1.5.
I'm going to use my first one. I'm going to give this a 1. I'm going to go out there.
All right.
Next up, I believe it's pronounced Tithe?
Yeah. Or teeth?
Teeth? Tithe?
Yeah.
This is a neutral event. Cost 0. Action. Kneel a neutral character to gain 2 gold.
I have no opinion. I can see this being decent in a... You want to make a Wildling, like, Night's Watch deck down the line once more Wildling cards come out. I can see this being a Counting Coppers kind of thing. Or not Counting Coppers, meager contribution kind of thing. Unless you're playing a neutral deck, which you can't do right now, I don't see this being worth the slot. You're discarding a card from your hand to gain 2 gold.
Yeah, pretty much. This is a hard one to gauge, but...
And you're kneeling someone. Yeah.
It's, I'm not blown away. I'm going to probably say 2.
Yeah, I'll give it a 2 as well.
Okay.
Next, we have A Time for Wolves. We're moving on to plots. It's a loyal Stark plot. Has 3 gold, 1 initiative, 1 claim. Winter traded, which could be important. Has a win revealed. Search your deck for a Direwolf card. Reveal it and add it to your hand. If the card's printed cost is 3 or lower, you may put it into play instead. Shuffle your deck. And this is by 2012 North American champion Dan Seefeld. Seefeld.
Hate that guy. No, he's pretty nice.
6 reserve. Can't forget that.
Yeah. I like this plot. Its stats aren't super hot, but if you are able to use that 3-cost Direwolf to get into play or into your hand, or into play, I should say, then it's effectively a 6 gold plot. And, of course, search effects are really strong, and an effect that puts something into play is even better. Its best use is Summer right now, so you could put Summer into play, trigger whatever you want, or trigger and put whatever characters in your discard or dead pile into your hand. That's very good. Yeah, sure. I mean, in a deck that's running Direwolves, in a deck that likes Winter, this is a great plot.
I can't see myself not putting this in any Stark deck right now. If you're going with the Direwolves thing, I guess if you're bannering, maybe not, but you're still grabbing those really good attachments. And the best part is, like, if you're Stark banner, whatever, you might not play as much of those Direwolf attachments, because there's not as much targets. This gets rid of that. It's like you're not drawing a dead card. You're pulling it and putting it into play when you need to put it into play.
Right.
I really like this. I'll give it a 4.
Yeah, I'm going to go with 4 too. If its initiative was higher or maybe had 1 more gold, I would give it even higher, but that's kind of giving me away from a higher rating.
I will say the winter trait's good. That's going to be really helpful.
Yeah, no doubt.
I forgot, is the current Stark loyal plot winter as well? It might be.
No, I believe it's just a war.
Oh, okay. All right.
Moving along, we have the rest of these are going to be neutral plots. So we have a plot called Fallen from Favor. It has 7 gold, 7 initiative, 1 claim, and 7 reserve. Insane stats. And has a trait Edict, so it can get hit by naval superiority, correct?
Oh, yep.
Which would be bad, especially considering that when revealed, you sacrifice a character you control.
Too bad it doesn't have 7 claim as well. That would be nice.
7?
The 7
Yeah.
across the board.
7 claim.
I feel like I am underestimating this card. I feel like it's going to be better than I assume. Right now, I don't know why you would play this. I guess if you are sacrificing a character, if you can afford to sacrifice a character, that means you already have a good board. So why do you need the 7 gold? The 7 initiative is nice. There's plots with 9 initiative that let you get more power. I guess this can be a good comeback from when Valor comes out, which would be nice because you can trigger your win reveal at first, discard your character that you care about. You're getting 7 gold for coming back from the Valor. But right now, I'm not sure what decks this plot would slot into.
Yeah, if you're playing against Baratheon, this gives you a stand. If you have Rob on the board,
Yep.
you can just whoop, problem solved. Also, if you're playing Catelyn, that's immediate power for you, so this can just close out the game in the plot phase. But then again, so could Wildfire. I'm thinking about this versus Noble Cause. They both sort of give you 7 economy. This is much higher initiative and has 1 higher reserve, but it has that drawback where you sacrifice a character. And they can both get hit by naval, so they're pretty similar. This will be played. You are going to see it. I like it. I don't know. I'm not falling in love.
I would give it a 3.
I'll go with a 3.5.
All right, next we have Snowed Under. It's a 5 gold, 0 initiative, 1 claim plot. Winter traded. Treat the base initiative value on each revealed plot card as if it were 0. Reserve 6.
So, basically, if you have anything that boosts your initiative, this all but guarantees you that you're going to win initiative. So if you have a King's Road in play, or especially if you're playing Greyjoy and you have like Salty Navigators or anything that gives you higher initiative, like then you're going to be winning initiative because your opponent is more likely going to be 0 or maybe 1 if they have a King's Road. I like this card. It's good.
If you're going for the winner thing, it's a good plot.
Yeah, it's a good plot to even start with. That way you're kind of controlling, probably more than likely, who's going to be going first that first round. Not too flashy, but it's solid.
It's okay. I think its best thing is actually that it's winter traded. I think if you're going for the winter theme, you have to play this right now. I would not play this in any deck that is not doing any winter stuff right now. I would give it probably 3.5.
I'm going to give it a 3.
All right.
Next up, we have The Long Winter. It is a winter traded plot. It has 4 gold, 2 initiative, 2 claim, and 4 reserve, and its plot deck limit to 1. It says, when revealed, each player without a summer plot card, that means you too, revealed discards 1 power from a card he or she controls.
I kind of feel the same way I felt about the last plot. You play this if you're playing the winter theme. You don't play it if you're not playing the winter theme. There's better 2 claim plots. I would rather play the 3-4-2 winner. What was that? What's that plot's name again? I have a bad habit of memorizing stats versus the actual names of
that one's not coming to my head, but yeah.
But that's winter as well, I believe. So it's
yes.
So I again, you play this if you're playing the winter deck. The 4 reserve is not that great, especially once the winter agendas come out. I'm not too impressed. Good, not great for winter decks only.
I mean, it's like maybe first turn aggro deck. Like you play this that way, you're not getting hit by that drawback with the power thing. It's like, oh, I don't have any power to discard anyway. So first turn, maybe if you're looking really good on setup and you want to really maintain that claim pressure. But yeah, I don't know. I'm not blown away.
It has 2 drawbacks for 2 initiative, 2 claim, which is what's not really.
Yeah.
I would give this a 3 as well.
I'm gonna go with 2.5. It's okay.
All right, Song of Summer. This is a 1.0 card. 5 gold, 3 initiative, 1 claim. Summer traded. While there is no winter plot cards revealed, each character you control gets +1 strength, 6 reserve.
Good stats. Very vanilla. It's like, okay, like strength, cool. 5 gold is good. I mean, summer. It's a summer card, right? So if you're playing the summer stuff, you're playing this more than likely. It's okay.
Since there's no summer things out right now, I would have to give this like a 2.5. The stats are good, but there's better plots, and there's no summer stuff.
Yeah.
Once more summer stuff comes out, it'll go up to a 3, maybe 3.5.
Yep. You will be seeing this card down the road.
Yep.
But maybe not right now. I'll give it a 3. Okay, next up we have a plot called Weapons at the Door. It is an edict plot. It has 3 gold, 9 initiative, 1 claim, plot deck limit 1, and 6 reserve. And it has a forced reaction. After the challenges phase begins, return each card with the printed attachment card type to its owner's hand.
I like the art. It's like whatever your preference is. There's like a hunky dude with a shirt off.
Yeah.
Or like a really gorgeous chick. So it's like...
Best of both worlds, yeah.
I like the stats for Greyjoy. Their attachments go back to everyone's hand. It's going to be annoying, but I don't see much people actually ending up playing this. If maybe once Targ actually gets that attachment thing going that they've been teasing, like attachment recursion and discarding attachments, then they might play this plot. But right now, I don't see anyone playing this plot, despite how good it seems.
Yeah, it's an interesting one. It'll find a home in a few niche decks, but yeah, it's not. It's going to be kind of hard to fit this one in.
I'll give it a 3.
Yep, 3.
And the last card of the pack is Ranger's Cash.
Box,
yeah, excuse me. 3 gold, 0 initiative, 1 claim. It's a Kingdom and Winter plot. It has an interrupt. When the taxation phase ends, either draw 2 cards or gain 3 gold. Plot deck limit 1, 6 reserve.
I really like the flexibility on this card. It's got good the winter trait, which is good. So if you're playing the winter stuff, more likely you're going to be playing this. I like to think of this kind of similar to like Counting Coppers, except you have that versatility. You can either draw the cards or get the gold. Its stats are pretty ho-hum, but again, it's a flexible plot that can kind of give you whatever answer you need.
I'm not a huge fan of this card. I don't like how it has 0 initiative. And I feel like if your gold is going to be low, your initiative should be a little higher. Then these stats aren't equal to that ability. So I'd give it like a 2.5. I'm not really impressed. Again, if you're playing a winter deck, you might play this. But other than that,
I'm going to give it a 3.5. I like it. It's not like it could be maybe a little bit better, like higher initiative, like you said. But I like the flexibility it offers. So
that's the whole Stark box. Looking back, I think our highest rated overall card together was probably Asha. Did we give her a perfect rating?
Yeah, I gave her a 5.
I think that was our only perfect rating.
Well,
there was really good Stark cards. The neutral cards, in my opinion, are mostly like ho-hum. They're especially the plots. I was not impressed with most of the plots, but overall, I'm really excited to get in this box. What did you think overall?
As a Stark player, yeah, I'm thrilled for the box to finally come out. It's going to really shake things up. I've been playing Stark a lot, and it's been doing pretty well for me. And this is only going to make things better, so that's great. I also expect to see a lot more people playing Stark finally, which is good. To get that diversity, there's been too much Lannister and Targaryen and Baratheon for my taste. But
I just saw that there's a tournament yesterday where like 3/4 of the deck, the turnout was Lannister Lord of the Crossing, so it's getting pretty Lannister heavy right now.
Yeah, kind of lame, guys. Mix it up a bit. But yeah, no, there's a huge number of great cards in this box, and
even the cards that aren't great, there's like interesting, fun things to try with them at least.
I mean, you think about it. Just talking about Stark. There's gonna be a lot of different decks you can make with this. You got Banner of the Bros, of course. Banner of the Lion. You have Lord of the Crossing. You have Stark Fealty.
Lord of the Crossing can happen now for Stark.
Probably some janky, weird no agenda. There's gonna be like Stark Knights. There's gonna be Tullies. There's gonna be like a lot of different directions that you can.
You could even do Stark Wildlings if you wanted to have fun.
There's gonna be a lot of different directions you can take Stark now, and or even Direwolves, of course. And it's just awesome. This faction is really expanded. It's exciting.
Which of the factions do you think got the shortest stick out of all of these?
The other factions, Tyrell.
Yeah, I don't like either of those Tyrell cards.
Because the character we agreed is underwhelming, and I'm iffy on the event. Whereas, like, we can say for certainty that the other factions got at least one good card. From there too.
Some got one really good card. It's just,
yeah. Feel a little bit bad for Tyrell. Baratheon got great cards.
I do feel bad about Baratheon because when I like a house, I like to see, yeah, I got this new character. It's a little bit underwhelming. Even though they're good cards, it's nice to get that character.
Yeah.
You get a new character.
It's like a new shiny
Yeah.
toy you can play with. But yeah, it's going to be an exciting time. I feel like even these other faction cards are going to get people excited and try new things. And it won't only be Stark that's played, of course. But yeah, it's a great box, I think.
Yeah, and before we started this video, we were going over the art. The art is almost great across the board.
Yeah.
There's not a bad art in this entire thing.
There's a few that are like, but like, I would say the Stark art all around is incredible.
Yes.
With like maybe,
Rickon is so badass looking. I love that art.
Maybe like close to 10 of them being straight up awesome. It's just really high quality.
We even got a Mikolai art and his Viper Eyes, which is cool.
Yeah.
They need to start rotating that Mikolai art in. Again.
Yeah, it's a really, really great looking box, and it has a lot of great cards in it. So, very exciting.
Yeah. Well, we'll be back next time we do a pack. What's the next pack? I forgot the name of it. So our next video up will probably be the Calm Over Westeros unboxing, unless there's any big FFG announcements. We know most of the cards have been spoiled in other languages. I think it's Czech or not sure what it is, but they've all pretty much, the whole pack's been spoiled. We'll probably have that released before the pack is out.
Yeah, officially out. We'll probably try to get that done.
And there's a quick spoiler here. Stark gets its first bad card, which is exciting for non-Stark players.
We've had a bad card or two already.
Bad, I don't know. Iffy, but this one's bad. This one's unplayable to me. But we'll see.
Yeah.
We'll have a little discussion. But thanks for listening, guys.
Yeah.
Remember, winter's coming.
Thanks. See ya.
All right, boys, time for some training. Are you ready? And a 1, and a 2, and a 3. Let's
Knights of the
go!
Round Table, we dance whenever we're able. We do routines and all the scenes to footwork impeccable. We dine well here in Camelot. We eat ham and jam and spam a lot.
No, on second thoughts, let's not go to Camelot. It is a silly place.
Right. All right, ready? Hey guys, Coolio here. Welcome to the first episode of Wolfswood.
Isn't it the Wolfswood?
Yeah,
Just say the Wolfswood.
that's what I said.
You said Wolfswood.
You just said the same thing. You said the same thing twice.
What?
Wolfswood.
The Wolfswood. You just said
Okay,
Wolfswood.
the Wolfswood.
Right.
Wait, before we start,
Can
how do I stop this? This is like constantly coming
you
up.
turn off the audio?
Oh yeah, I'll just do that. It keeps saying like Microsoft Internet or Minneapolis Internet. I'm gonna keep all this in, and just have it scroll through random card images the whole time.
So stupid.
All right.
All right.
Oh, I need to stop laughing for a second.